Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Unfortunately, I couldn't do this as a live interview because the technology didn't want to participate. We both kept freezing up, right, Dors?
It was very hilarious, actually.
Yeah, not the best thing in the world. But anyway, we are here now, and I'm so happy to be recording this. And I am so happy to introduce everyone to the gorgeous, look at her, she just looks radiant today. To the gorgeous Dors Grant McPhillamy.
That's it.
I love saying your surname. It makes me smile, but I did have to ask how to say it. So do you want to repeat it?
McPhillamy, and you have to give hubby that credit.
It is gorgeous. Just anyone who's out there watching this, just say that name and just watch how you smile. It's gorgeous. It's just gorgeous.
McPhillamy.
McPhillamy. Now, Dors, you and I have been working together for a couple of months now. Now, I know an awful lot about you. Would you like to tell everyone who's watching a little bit about who you are?
I am married to a gorgeous man who I love to death. He's my absolute soulmate. We have been together since we were 16 and 17 years old, so 33 years going on to. We have 2 kids. Our son lives in Canada, he's 31, and our daughter lives in Bathurst, near mummy. She's 27, loves of my lives. I have 2 fur babies who I absolutely adore and spoil rotten. They think they're human. They don't know what dog means.
I don't know what you mean, Dors. I don't know what you mean. Because I sleep with my husband and 3 animals in the bed. Like, you know.
We don't get that far, but yeah, I babysit one baby because I have 2 babies, but one's my daughter's. So she comes to Nana for the daycare and then goes back home.
I love it. I love it. I think that is just adorable. Now, Dors, I know that you've done a lot of work over the years with different sorts of therapies and tried lots of different things. Do you want to share with everyone a little bit about that journey for yourself?
Yeah, well, I suppose I've had counselling, which probably helped me mentally. Well, let's get it out there. I was sexually abused as a child by a family member, which I needed to get, which I kept hidden for a long, long time. And it was only probably the last 12 months that I actually admitted it to anybody.
Yeah.
So I had mental health. I had headspace counselling that helped me get through not being suicidal and being okay.
Yep.
I've also done before that. With keeping it locked up in that little box in my head, I was seeking to improve myself through learning how to love myself, to accept who I am, the normal stuff that you get fed.
Yep.
And I thought I was on it. I thought I had that down pat. But I was still blocked. I knew what I wanted. I knew where I was going. But there was this massive, big brick wall, no matter what counselling I did, what course I did, what self-love course I did, and I've worked with some amazing women that could take me so far, and I thought that blockage was my weight.
Mm-hmm.
My weight was my issue, and once I get rid of my weight, I'll love myself. I will be the person that I go to bed dreaming every night that I'll be, and my life will be perfect. Don't get me wrong, my life, family-wise, house-wise, is perfect to me.
Yes.
But when I looked in the mirror, I hated myself.
Mm-hmm.
To the core. So I did all these courses and thought, yep, I've got it, I'm down pat. Now I'm going to do this. I'm going to start my business. Went on a weight loss journey, got fit, lost 35 kilos.
Wow.
Yes. And when I looked in the mirror, I still looked 135, 140 kilos. So I thought, well, what's the point? All that hard work, and I looked in the mirror and nothing changed. I still absolutely hated myself to the core, not realizing what the blockage was. That's when I realized then that it's not the number on the scale. It's not the number of my clothes, the size of my clothes. There's something going on in me that needed fixing. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know how to fix it. To be honest, I didn't even know what it was, because the abuse was locked up in that tiny dark little box in the corner of my head. I'd dealt with it. I'd moved on. It's no longer suicidal. I'd gone my whole married life okay.
Yeah.
Thinking I was okay. It was not affecting me. Then you popped up in my Facebook newsfeed. I don't know how, because
I'm everywhere, Dors. I'm everywhere.
Well, I'm a really big believer that everything happens for a reason. The universe, this is my journey that I've gone along, the universe will give me what I need when I need it. And on a very low day, you appeared. And my hand just went click. And I knew then and there I needed you in my life. It was
I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry.
This feeling between me and you. I had never met you. I had never spoken to you. But then and I said to my husband, she's going to change my life. You don't know how? Because I didn't know what the problem was. Absolutely had no idea. I knew it wasn't my weight. But what was it? What was... I want to swear, but I'm not.
You're allowed to. I'm sure everyone in the...
And I knew there was something wrong, but I thought, I'm just a nut job. I'm completely just an absolute nut job. I know what to do. I know how to do it. I know what my body needs. Why don't you just bloody do it?
Yeah. And it's what I see. What I see in people all the time.
Yeah.
And you know,
Dors, it's just frozen to the point, like I said.
Sorry, go on. No, go on.
No. I'm just going to say, frozen to the point where you don't want to think about it anymore. You don't want to do it anymore. You just block it out with whatever you can put in your brain to block out every thought.
Yeah.
I just couldn't deal with it anymore. But I knew you'd help me. That's why I did the call. It was not even a second thought. Got to do a call with you.
Do you know, just before we go any further, I just want to applaud you for actually coming out and saying the words that you did, because I know your story. We've talked about your story, and being able to say the words out loud the way you did, I applaud you, because it's an insidious act. It's a terrible thing that happened, and I trust and I believe that just in hearing you say that is going to help every single person who watches this video.
Yeah.
That they can actually stand up, say the words, and share their story, and know that it's going to be okay.
Yep. And trust me, it's hard opening those boxes that have been shut so many decades, but it's not my story anymore. Like, that's my past. It doesn't define who I am.
Wow.
We all make mistakes. We all have a past that we may not like, but I don't have guilt for that. That's not my guilt. And it's taken me to work with you to realize that that's not my guilt. That past doesn't define me, and that past has no hold on what I can achieve, who I am, and what I plan to do with the rest of my life. It's there. I acknowledge it's there. I can't erase it. It's there. But it also made me the person I am today. And I'm not saying that in a good way that you need to have it, but it has made me who I am today. There's no denying it. But I had to deal with it. Locking it away in that dark, dusty corner of my mind was never going to fix it.
So, Dors, I wanted to ask you about that first breakthrough strategy call, which actually didn't go anything like a breakthrough strategy call. It just ended up being quite phenomenal. I think I will remember that for the rest of my life. And you know, if you'd like to share a little bit about the experience that you had, because I just want to, guys, anyone who's watching, I just want to put it out there that I facilitate these things. I don't make it happen. I simply facilitate that the ability that each and every person has to start the healing process for themselves. And Dors, you know, we do our sessions online, and you were actually the one in that breakthrough call that made that cut those energetic ties. So if you'd like to talk a little bit about that.
Well, the first session and the second session with me actually blur a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they were sort of, both sessions I went into going, I don't know what we're going to talk about. There was no way I was going to tell you anything. Like, this is something I don't admit to myself, let alone go and tell somebody else. And it just started coming. We spoke. I would say something and you would go, oh, but I'm feeling, and it bulldozed. And I actually just blew me away that there were so many vibrational ties that were holding me back. And they were actual ties to people, whether, I don't know how to word it, but when we remove those ties and those feelings and all that vibrational energy to these past things that I remember, I don't remember 80-90% of my childhood. Most of my childhood I remember is with other people, not my family childhood. It did bring up memories that I'd forgotten even existed. A few, nothing major, nothing that I couldn't handle. I do believe your subconscious only lets you bring out what you can mentally handle. But when, I'm getting all goosebumpy now, but when we actually cut those ties, vibrational ties, the freedom that I felt, the weight that lifted off me, like I don't give a shit what the scale says, I felt 20 kilos lighter.
Yeah.
I felt that all the festering crap that was deep inside me had erupted like a volcano, and I know it was a mess, and now it's gone. That volcano is just so calm. It's just so, like I said to you, I'm no longer under my skin having this constant running, like zillions of animals or creatures just constantly itching under my skin. My skin's calm. My body's calm. And when we went into our second session, I honestly went, I don't even know what I'm getting money for. We've dealt with it. It's gone. But it wasn't. We still had one or two little egg things. I went, oh, yeah, I'm just having a problem with this. And it was like, oh, there we go again.
And to me, and no disrespect intended, but to me, it's always, I always have to give myself a bit of a chuckle when people get on a call and they go, I don't really know what I need to talk to you about. And it's like, well, let's just start. And by the end of it, they're like, oh, what just happened?
Yeah.
What just happened?
Yeah.
I do want to share one part of that first phone call with people, because it is the part that truly sticks with me as I mean, both calls were quite astounding in what happened, but that first call where what I envisaged were like 24 fish hooks stuck in you, stuck in your back. And we were able to remove the majority of them, but there were 4 that were like really hard and rusty.
Yep.
And what blows me away is that, I talked you through it. You turned around, you removed those hooks. That last hook that got removed, you felt the freedom like that as soon as you removed that hook.
And as I was removing every bloody hook, I had a picture of what that hook was attached to. And you want to know even a weird thing, and I don't want to freak anyone out. I have in my house a nook. It's a whole room that's just set up with the things that I love, with the plants that I love, and 24, and I have heaps of plants, 24 leaves off a plant or an arm, like it's a big stem and a leaf, died. Within the next, all died. 24.
No. Oh my.
And that's where we all do all my calls in this room. And it was like, the last one I picked up was gone, done, dusted. Don't have to worry about any of this shit again. It was so empowering.
Okay, so Dors hasn't told me this yet. I've got goosebumps. I'm sitting here going, what?
I forgot to tell you. Like, they just started. My plants are gorgeous. If I could turn you around and show you, like they're. Let me see. Can you see a plant?
Yeah.
Those elephant ear plants, and 24 arms with a leaf died. It was so exciting. I was excited. It was like,
Wow.
yes, the universe is telling me you're on the right track.
Man, okay, I'm just a little bit blown away. I'm just going to sit back. I'm going to back away slowly. I don't do what people do to me. I'm just going to back away slowly. Wow.
Tell you, I can't believe I didn't tell you. It was so exciting. It was like, yes, the last one. It was like I was waiting.
Oh
By the
my
time
God.
I got to about 12 or 13, it's like, hurry up and die.
Not that we're encouraging plant abuse. We are not encouraging plant abuse.
They're so healthy, but it's just like, die. Go on, die.
Oh my God, you crack me up. Wow.
Sorry, I thought I would have told you that, but yeah.
You didn't. You've blown me away. Do you know what? Let's go straight to what you're doing now, because we're in Action Week, and everyone in the group, I'm trying to encourage everyone to take some sort of action in their life towards what they want. And if anyone is the prime example of what that actually means, it's you. It's you and what you're doing. So if you want to share a little bit about what you're planning in the next little while, I would love to hear it.
Yep. Well, I have an obsession. Well, I've sort of split it up to two factors of my life. There's me and there's my business.
Yes.
And which is only a baby, which I'm growing, but they're going to grow. Instead of me going, well, I need to be the perfect person and I need to look like this to start my business and let it grow. So it was out of balance. This one needed to be up before this one. Now they're growing together. So while I'm working on me, I'm also working on the business, because without me, there is no business.
Yes.
I am the business. So my obsession is with strong women, and I know that comes with my childhood, and I am obsessed with strong women. So I'm weightlifting. I have a training schedule and I am lifting weights, and no one can tell me nothing is impossible. I may be nearly 50, I don't care. I will lift weights. I did deadlifting this morning and I loved every minute.
Oh my God.
So that's it. So I have, with this week in particular, I have self-care is really, really important. It's taken me decades to realize it's self-care. So I actually have on my wall my non-negotiables. This is what I must do every day, solely for me, selfishly for me. No one else benefits but me. These are my non-negotiables and they will be done. So that's my self-care. That includes my training, my nutrition, hydrating, even to my 30 minutes of knitting a day, which I must do, or have a bubble bath. Everything's in there, and they're my non-negotiables. And I've always put myself last, because as a mum, as a wife, as someone who didn't feel that she deserved the life, she didn't deserve to be happy. She was here to serve, because that's how I've always been. I always put myself last. And if it came to what I wanted to do and what I needed to do for someone else, they got priority over me. Well, hey, no, not anymore. I'm number one, and no one's complaining. No one. They're all going, go for it. Like, I have amazing support system. I really, really do. So then I also have my business, which is I studied at the gone blank Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and it's all about loving yourself. Okay, being the fittest and the healthiest version of you, but not just concentrating on the diet and fitness aspect. Let's look at the internal. Let's look at you as a whole. So you've got your spiritual, which I am a spiritual person now. I grew up in a very, very, very religious household.
Yeah.
I was the most anti-religion person that you could find. But that's because spiritual to everybody is different. And my spiritual journey is totally different to what I grew up. But it's taken me to the last probably 18 months to realize that my spiritual journey, and I'm very spiritual, is not what I was taught. It's what I believe.
Well,
and that's fine. And that's
big difference between religion and spirituality.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with everyone having their own belief system, their own wording. You may use God, I use universe, other people might use another word. So when you're happy with yourself, you've got to look at every aspect. You've got to look at your relationship. Are you happy with your relationship? Your spiritual, your finances, your job. Your job has such a big impact on your life.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I am, educating myself in, and that's where I want my business to go, because I want to help people not go through, not feel alone, not feel that they've got something wrong with them, that they're not loved, not worthy, or not deserving, or that they just accept that they're bad, they've got bad health and they're going to die. No, what do I live? My doctor told me that. My doctor actually told me, you're fat, you're obese, you're on insulin for type 2 diabetes, just accept fact, that's your life, and live the time you've got. No. Wow. No, it took me a while to go, no, piss off. It doesn't have to stay that. Nourish your body. I'm not saying fitness and food's not important, because it is, and I'm learning that as I go.
Yep.
What works for me. So that's really important, because what works for me is not going to work for you. But you need to listen to your body. You can have a diet, you can go buy a diet, but that's not going to work for you. Paleo may not work for you. Veganism might not work for you, but there's nothing wrong from taking from here, and here and going, but this works for me.
You're speaking my language, Dors. You're speaking my language.
I'm about you actually learning that for yourself, but let me be there and help you.
Yeah. And look, I know.
No, sorry.
I was going to say, I know you've started on that, and you've got a Facebook page where you've got your, I'm going to let you say the name of it.
Plant-based deliciousness. I love plants. I am a plant-based eater. Not saying I'm not vegan. I'm not any vegan police or any of those, I love plants, and I believe plants nourish our body. I'm not into steamed veggies, and I'm not into boiled veggies. So let's just make them quick and yummy. So if I want to have eggs on the side, they're on the side, but I mainly eat plants. And I just want to encourage people to know, you know what? They're delicious. You can make anything out of them. I make cheesecakes. I make cheesy potato bake last night.
I know, you were telling me about this, and I'm going, how do you make a bechamel sauce without like all that stuff?
Cashew milk's my secret. Cashew milk's my secret. And I just want to teach people to make plants. So I love cooking, and I'm just sharing my recipes. They're there. You want to use them, make them. They're quick, simple, and I do like one pot.
Oh, good.
I hate washing up.
Well, I'm gonna share the page in the group, because I think there's some pretty awesome information on there that a lot of people are going to really benefit from. Yeah. And I hope a few people go to the page, click on it, check out the recipes that are there, and support and encourage Dors, because guys, in case you hadn't noticed, she's freaking awesome. I just want everyone to
thank you.
I just want everyone to really, possibly go back and watch that little part of it again. Dors actually acknowledged every aspect, every one of the 4 pillars that we're talking about this week about engaging in your life: the physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional. And you're doing something in each of those rooms of your own house. And I know that in the group we've only been talking about this, but I know that you've been doing this for some time. You've been building up, since we've been working together in incorporating these different things into your life, and the difference that it's made. I mean, I can feel it obviously when I talk to you, but the difference of where it's coming from inside of you is astounding, and that is because you have actually engaged in your own life. You've given yourself the respect to do what needs to be done, and I admire you for that, and I just hats off to you, mate. Sorry?
I deserve it. I no longer look in the mirror and I no longer look in the mirror and absolutely hate who I am. I deserve the life that I want to live, and I'm going to have it. And I look in the mirror and go, yeah, you're okay. You know,
I want to do.
You're fine.
I
can actually say some days I feel amazing.
And that's incredible. That is like,
yeah. It's looking at the person as a whole.
I want to thank you so much, Dors, and I want to acknowledge that when I asked you if you wanted to do this interview, and I've written it down, your words, your first response was, if I can help anyone in any way, yes, I'll do it. And I want to thank you for that, because I think that anyone watching this is definitely going to see, you know, the impact that your story has and your recovery from that has had on you. And the courage, truly the courage and the bravery of you to sort of come out and open yourself up the way you have to a group of nearly 400 people who don't know you. Wow.
Yep.
That's amazing to me.
It's what it is. Can't take it back. I can't erase it.
Yep.
It's not my guilt. It just happened. So, yeah, no. I'm loving life.
Is there anything else
that's what life's about? Love it. We're supposed to love our life. We're supposed to live our. We're supposed to not just go through the motions, which I did for 4 odd decades of just going through the motions of life. We're supposed to love it. It's not always going to go to plan. Shit's going to happen, and you know, crap happens. But we still need to enjoy it, love it. Not get up and go, it's another day.
Yeah.
I jump out of bed now at 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, I've got too much on. Too much to do.
That's fantastic. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with the group? You truly have an amazing story. You have a truly amazing recovery, and you have a phenomenal future ahead of you.
I think what really sits deep inside me, and what my big realization is since working with you is, and I said it earlier, that my past is my past, but it doesn't define who I am. My past is not my story anymore.
Yeah.
We all have mistakes. We've all made mistakes that we might hide our head in shame with. Things happen to us that should not have happened.
Yeah.
But we don't have to carry that crap for the rest of our life. It's not my guilt. It's plain and simply, it's not my guilt. I don't have to be ashamed of my past. I don't need to bring it up all the time. I don't need to tell everybody.
Yeah, of course.
But we all have a right. We all have the right that we can love our life.
I love that.
Live and love our life. Enjoy it. Yeah. But your past doesn't define you. It's your past story, not your story from now on.
You're amazing. Truly, you're amazing.
You have to deal with it. But you have to deal with it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
You can't hide it. You have to do it. You have to unlock that deep, dark chest and unlock it.
Darling Dors, you are absolutely amazing, and I thank you so much for agreeing to doing the interview. And I thank you for being so open with everything that you shared with everyone today. Mwah, from my heart, my darling. I love you, and I thank you so very much.
I love you too.
You've just frozen up. Oh, there we go. I couldn't end it with you freezing up.
Yeah, I thought you'd left. It's
no.
Crazy. I thought she's gone, but no, you're still there.
No, I'm still here. Mwah. Love you, sweetheart. Mwah. And thank you again so much.
Talk to you later.
Bye. Thank you to everyone who's watched. This will be up on the page shortly.